Hello everyone, this is Taekwondo at Home, lesson 3. Today we're doing skip front kicks, which will lay the foundation for all of our skipping kicks. But we're also going to talk about 3 different versions of skipping techniques. This will help us understand different applications of it and to also be aware that one variation isn't right and one is wrong. It's just that they have different applications, and to understand the difference and uses of each version. I see this happen a lot. Granted, there are some universal incorrect techniques, but for the most part, a lot of times it's more a misinterpretation of the application. We're going to finish the class with some exercises that will help us with skipping techniques. Let's get it going. So every skip technique has 3 components to it. It has an initial chamber or lift. It has a jumping and switch, and then it has the extension of the kick. So each of those components can change slightly, which will give us our different variations. Let's just stick with the most basic version first. So a skipping technique, we have an initial lift or chamber. We have our jump on one leg and switch, which is to land on one leg. And then we have the extension of our kick. You can do the initial lift with the front leg, but that application is a little bit more nuanced, so we might come back to that in a later lesson. For now, we will always be doing it with the back leg or the rear leg. We're going to just lift, okay? The jump and switch is where most people get a little bit of trouble, especially if you're not used to jumping, or maybe if you are a child, respectfully. So let's focus a little bit there first. Let's go ahead and hold our initial chamber. We're gonna have a soft bend in the hips and in the knee, okay? This will kind of load up the spring for a small jump. You don't have to jump high, just do a few hops to get used to that motion. And while we're in the air, we're going to switch our legs, meaning this leg will land and this leg will come up, okay? So load, jump, switch. Another drill you can do is, since we have a little bit more muscle in our hips, pushing off laterally or side to side might be a little bit more intuitive. And even though we are going side to side, you'll notice that the sequence of the switch is the same. There's a jump, a switch in midair, and the landing. Eventually, this should be able to translate to just doing it in place. Or if you do have a good jump, but maybe your timing is off, I would say to try jumping even higher. The higher you jump, the more time you'll have in the air to think and process. It's not a lot more time, but just a split second more. So if you can do a higher jump, you can slow down that motion a little bit. All right, let's get back to it. So let's put the sequence together. We have our initial lift or chamber. We have our jump and switch. And then we have our snap or extension and down. Okay, let's do it part by part, 2 more times, okay? Ready, lift, jump and switch, and snap. One more time, lift, jump and switch, and kick. Cool. All right, now we want to make that a little bit more smooth. So we're going to do the lift, and then we're going to combine this jump and switch and kick as one motion, like so. All right, let's just do 3 on each side, okay? Ready, lift, jump, switch, and kick, go. Okay, it doesn't have to be fast, it just has to be smooth. Lift, and go. And last one, lift, and go. Cool, okay, other side, switching legs. We have our lift, jump, switch, kick. And back, lift, and go. And last one, lift, and go. Cool. All right, next we're gonna put the first 2 steps together, the chamber, jump, and switch, and then we're going to kick second. Lift, jump, switch, and then snap. All right, let's give it a try. Ready, 1, lift, jump, switch, and 2, bam, and back, okay, and 1, and 2, last one, okay, lift, jump, switch, go, and snap. Okay, switch legs, okay, lift, jump, switch, and hold it, go, and snap, 2, and back, ready, go, and snap, and back, last one, and go. Kick. Cool. If you can do that, you can put it all together. Just 3 and 3. Whole thing. Ready? 1. Step back. Same leg. 2. And back. And 3. Switch legs. Ready? 1. 2. 3. So now let's talk about the 3 variations of all skipping kicks. Well, maybe I shouldn't say variation, it's more like application. So the first application is more or less the version that we use to learn, and that is going to be the feinting style. So skipping techniques can be used as a feinting tool with that initial chamber, that first lift that we do. Chambering and feinting is to give a cue to your opponent that you're about to strike. To me, they're more or less interchangeable. So when we do that initial lift, our opponent thinks that we're going to throw a kick. This will cause an initial reaction in the opponent. Maybe they defend on one side a little bit more heavily, exposing the other. Or maybe they defend low, exposing high. Or maybe they defend high, exposing low. Either way, we're going to go ahead and switch here and take advantage of wherever the opening might be. The second application can be used with the first one, or it can be used separately. And that application would be to cover distance. We could just do this approach by making our first lift a lot lower, leaning forward and performing the same jump, switch, and kick. We can also approach it by breaking it down to its more basic application, which would just be one walking step forward, followed by whatever kick that you're doing. Doing it this way puts a little bit more emphasis on traveling forward and covering distance. So once this way feels nice and smooth, we can make it more subtle. Instead of waiting for this leg to pass this leg before doing the jump and switch, we can just do a stronger push and lean and use that momentum to do our switch a little bit earlier. So instead of switching here, we can switch here. This will make it a lot more subtle and hard to read, and sometimes that abrupt skipping technique is going to be more favorable than the feinting version. So now that we understand the feinting version and the distance version, you can actually combine the two together. We don't always want to feint and cover distance. Sometimes we want to just cover distance. For example, if the opponent is just out of my range currently, if I then do a lot of extra motions to show that I intend to come in range, they can then pick up on that and defend. Sometimes you want to give less, be more subtle, and just enter range without our opponent noticing. Granted, if you're really out of range, I wouldn't do a skip technique to enter into range, because with a lot of range, you are a lot more visible and there is more time required to close that distance. The third variable in skip roundhouse kick that I see is height. In this case, instead of using the first lift as a chamber or a feint, it's used as momentum by making a big swinging motion and performing a high jump. Sometimes I even see a little arm swing here. Very Karate Kid-esque. And I've only seen this in 2 settings. One is like demonstration, but more common, I've seen this actually used in non-TKD sparring rule sets, and that is with the knee strike. Because the knee has a much shorter range than the foot, striking something like the head is much more difficult to do. But from the momentum with the first swing, it's a lot more achievable. But of course, with skipping knee strikes, we see this more in like a Muay Thai or MMA type rule set. So initially, I said that these are 3 variations of skipping techniques, but they're more like 3 variables. They can all be modified to different extents, different levels, but I just wanted to give you a general overview of them. And as we continue these lessons, hopefully you can recall some of these aspects. So let's practice some combinations with skip, front kick. You can do whichever version of it you feel more comfortable with. Also, if you already know other kicks, you can do these combinations with those as well. We're just going to do 10 alternating sides. The first one is going to be a skip front kick, followed by a rear leg front snap kick. All right, here you go. Ready? 1, skip front, drop in front, follow up. Okay, we're just going to take a few steps back. Other leg is leading. 2. Move back. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, next we're going to flip that around. We're going to start with our back leg. Front snap kick, drop it in front, followed up with a skipping front kick. Okay, once again, we'll be switching sides automatically. So we'll be doing 10 alternating. All right, here we go, ready. 1, front snap, drop in front, and skip in. Okay, stepping back. 2, rear leg, drop in front, skip. 3, 4, 5. I kicked my door open. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay, last one we're going to do is going to be a skip front kick and a step back or a jump back if you want to do the hujin, followed by back leg front snap kick. Okay, this is going to have a lot of application later when we learn other kicks because we attack, create distance, anticipating a counter, and then we can counter the counter attack. Once again, skip front kick, dash back, back leg, dash back one more time just to reset ourselves. Okay, and we'll be switching legs automatically so we don't have to think about it too much. 10 alternating. All right, here we go. Ready. 1, skipping in, dash back, back leg, dash back. That's 1. Good. 2, skip, back, rear leg, back. Cool. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can make your own combinations up if you want to throw in the front leg, front kick as well, but I'll leave that up to you. Let's go ahead and do some exercises to help us with our jumping power. Now, if you have a lot of difficulty, especially with jumping on one leg, I do have a video on shorts that's a guide to doing step up, which is a great exercise for building that knee strength for single leg motions. I'll go ahead and put a link of that in the description. But other than that, let's go ahead and do a quick workout. It's just going to be 50 reps and you're done. If you would like to do a second and third set, please go ahead and do so. I don't want to make this video too long, so we're just going to do one set together. The first one is going to be a squat hop. Okay, so we're going to go into our squat and just perform a small jump at the end, not a high jump. All right, let's go ahead and do 10 and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, we're going to do lunge switches. If you can't do a jump lunge yet, you can do regular lunges, that's fine, and build up to it. Okay, take a step back and bend my front leg. I like to lean forward a little bit to keep more of my load onto that front leg. From here, we're going to push off hard so we can do a small jump and switch legs. This back leg is very light. I'm not resting my weight onto my knee like this. I always have my weight over my front leg, and this leg is either floating or very light tap on the ground. We're just gonna do 10 and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, very similar, we're gonna do sprinter lunges, which is a single leg
jumping lunge. I like to pump my arms, so when I'm in my starting position, if I have my left leg in front, I have my right hand up, and as I push and jump, I'm going to switch hands like that, kind of like Mario. Also, as I come up, you'll notice that this back leg, knee does come up and returns. If you don't have the power to jump up quite yet, just holding it here is okay too. If the arm thing is confusing, that's okay. You can just have them on the side. All right, choose a leg. Let's do 10. Ready, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, other leg. Here we go. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The last one we're going to do is help us strengthen our single leg strength. We're going to do something called the boxer squat, which kind of imitates the motion of doing a roll in boxing. But what we're really doing is shifting all of our weight onto one leg as much as we can. We're going to drop like we're doing a squat, and then we're going to shift our weight to the other leg and up. If you can't shift your weight over as much, that's fine, because we still have both legs on the ground. So this is a good exercise to kind of increase or decrease intensity. Okay, let's just do 10 total. We're gonna shift and lean and begin. Drop, roll, all the weight on this leg. 1, drop, roll, push. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just moving my body over that leg. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thanks for being patient and waiting for lesson 3. You're gonna have to be patient and wait for lesson 4 again, unless you're watching this way in the future and they're already all out. Either way, I'll catch you guys next time.
Now we want to work on smoothing it out. Smoothing is, it's not a word. Smoothing out, that sounds weird. Smoothing, it is smoothing. Now we want to make that a little bit more smooth. Oh my Lord.